Stellantis just made a huge decision that could shake up the auto industry. And whether you own one of their cars or work for them, this directly impacts you. From skyrocketing repair costs to sudden layoffs, here's what's happening and what you need to do next. Stellantis, the parent company of brands like Jeep, Ram, Dodge, and Chrysler, just dropped a bombshell announcement. Maybe you've heard about layoffs, plant closures, or even changes to warranties, but what does it really mean for you? Stellantis is navigating a turbulent period marked by significant challenges and strategic shifts. The company faces a class action lawsuit in Italy over potentially defective Takata airbags, with consumer groups estimating compensation claims could reach $323 million. In the U.S., Stellantis is revising its advertising campaigns after scrutiny over claims that its vehicles are built in America, aligning with FTC standards. Financially, UBS downgraded Stellantis stock rating from buy to neutral, citing increasing pressure from U.S. tariffs, leading to a significant slash in its price target. Despite these hurdles, Stellantis is investing $2.1 billion in Italian production and $6.3 billion in the supply chain, aiming to boost production from 2026 with the launch of more than a dozen new models through 2032. Additionally, the company is collaborating with Shanghai's Lingang area to establish a sustainable car and auto parts utilization center, focusing on refurbishing auto parts and electric vehicle batteries. These strategic moves reflect Stellantis' efforts to adapt and thrive amidst a rapidly changing automotive landscape. So, how does this shakeup affect car owners? For car owners, the Stellantis shakeup sends a jolt through the heart of consumer confidence. The class action lawsuit over defective Takata airbags reignites fears around vehicle safety, especially for those driving affected models from Stellantis' vast portfolio. Think Fiat, Jeep, Alfa Romeo, and more. If the allegations hold, thousands could be cruising around in cars with hidden dangers, a terrifying thought when lives are literally riding on airbags. Meanwhile, Stellantis' move to revise its Built in America claims has deeper implications. Consumers may start questioning the authenticity and transparency behind what they're being sold. When trust in branding erodes, so does loyalty. Beyond safety and marketing, this industrial turbulence could directly hit car owners in the wallet. UBS's downgrade of Stellantis due to potential U.S. tariffs points to rising costs in the supply chain, and those costs rarely stop at the factory door. As Stellantis pivots production strategies and invests billions into new models and revamped infrastructure, these costs could translate to more expensive vehicles, delayed model rollouts, or pricier maintenance due to part shortages. Owners of Stellantis vehicles may soon find themselves caught between longer wait times, increased service costs, and uncertainty over the long-term value of their cars. In short, buckle up because this ride might get bumpy. How this affects employees. For Stellantis employees, the current shakeup is both a looming threat and a beacon of cautious hope. The class action lawsuit and marketing controversies have intensified internal scrutiny, putting pressure on teams across legal, communications, and manufacturing departments. Workers involved in quality assurance or production lines may face tighter oversight, more rigorous inspections, and increasing pressure to meet safety and compliance standards. The company's credibility is on the line, and employees are now on the front lines of restoring it. Meanwhile, the looming shadow of tariffs and cost-cutting measures raises the specter of layoffs or restructuring, especially for those based in regions heavily reliant on exports to the U.S. or dependent on cross-border supply chains. With financial analysts sounding alarms, job security could soon become the elephant in the break room. But it's not all doom and gloom. Stellantis' massive €2 billion investment in Italian production and a €6 billion infusion into its supply chain signal that the company isn't backing down, it's doubling down. For employees, this could mean new opportunities for advancement, training in next-generation vehicle technology, and more job openings tied to electric vehicle development and parts refurbishment. The partnership in Shanghai to create a sustainable parts utilization center suggests a shift toward green tech jobs, which could lead to longer-term career stability in a rapidly evolving industry. Still, employees must be agile. As Stellantis pushes to realign itself with future mobility trends, the internal culture may shift toward performance, innovation, and adaptability. Those who can't keep pace may find themselves left behind in the company's aggressive race to reinvent itself. Will your car become a ghost? Obsolescence risk. Stellantis' massive shift toward electrification and restructuring raises a chilling possibility. What if your current car is quietly being phased out. As the automaker invests heavily in future EV platforms and trims down legacy production, some combustion engine vehicles could become obsolete quicker than expected. That means less factory support, dwindling parts availability, and fewer qualified technicians for older models. For owners of vehicles nearing the end of their production run, your car might soon feel like a ghost, present but unsupported, with software updates halted and diagnostics becoming harder to access. If Stellantis fully commits to electric and hybrid-only offerings, owners of older IC vehicles may be stuck with relics in a rapidly modernizing world. Models at risk. Which engines and trims are getting axed? Let's get specific. Stellantis has already confirmed the phase-out of the legendary Hemi V8 engine, a move that's shaking Mopar loyalists to their core. High-powered trims like the Dodge Charger and Challenger Scat Pack are being sunset in favor of electrified alternatives. Beyond muscle cars, select trims of Jeeps, Rams, and Chryslers with larger engines or less fuel-efficient configurations are being targeted. The company is trimming fat, streamlining powertrains, and focusing on EVs and hybrid variants, which means that the trims you once drooled over or currently drive may soon be extinct. If you own one of these vehicles, brace yourself. You might be holding a collector's item or a rapidly depreciating asset. The aftermarket lifeline. Will junkyards be your only hope for repairs in 5 years? As production stops and support dwindles for older models, aftermarket solutions could be the only lifeline for owners. Expect OEM parts to become rarer and pricier, especially for discontinued engines like the Hemi. That's when the scrappy heroes of the auto world, junkyards, third-party part makers, and independent mechanics, step in to fill the void. But here's the kicker. As Stellantis pushes into EVs, many components become proprietary and software-locked, reducing the repairability of new models and complicating aftermarket support. So while junkyards might help for now, the future may see owners increasingly boxed out by tech barriers and corporate gatekeeping. Trade-in ticking clock. Dealers might lowball you now before values crash. Here's how to fight back. Here's the harsh truth. Dealers see the writing on the wall, and they're already adjusting trade-in values for soon-to-be discontinued models. The moment a trim gets axed or an engine gets retired, the resale value takes a hit, and dealers know it. If you're considering trading in a vehicle tied to legacy Stellantis lines, act fast and don't accept the first offer. Arm yourself with third-party appraisals, highlight service records, and use online valuations to counter any lowball bids. Better yet, consider private resale if you want maximum value. With the market tilting fast, hesitation could cost you thousands. The clock is ticking. The dealership disaster, service nightmares. Stellantis' ongoing shakeup isn't just rattling boardrooms. It's wreaking havoc in the service lanes. As models get phased out and new ones go electric and software-heavy, dealerships are struggling to keep pace with demand, training, and tech. Service centers are already facing a bottleneck, with wait times stretching out, communication breaking down, and basic fixes turning into multi-week ordeals. Owners of discontinued trims or aging IC models may find their dealerships deprioritizing them altogether, while newer EV owners are discovering that software issues can paralyze their cars, and the fix lies locked behind exclusive dealership diagnostics. The bottom line? If your Stellantis vehicle breaks down, brace for a slow-motion nightmare. Software lockout. Newer cars require dealer-only resets. No dealership? No fix. Modern Stellantis vehicles, especially EVs and hybrids, are turning into rolling computers, and that means more problems that only a dealership can solve. Simple issues like a battery swap or a sensor failure can now trigger digital lockdowns that require proprietary resets, diagnostics, or firmware updates. Independent shops are locked out of these systems unless Stellantis authorizes access, which rarely happens. If your local dealership shuts down or you're miles from one, your vehicle could be bricked by a dashboard warning light. The promise of advanced tech has turned into a trap. No dealer access, no fix, period. Parts apocalypse. Back orders could leave you stranded for months. Supply chain issues are still biting, and Stellantis owners are feeling the sting harder than most. With production shifting toward future EV platforms and older lines being phased out, parts availability is plummeting. Need a transmission module for a discontinued trim? It might be on backorder for months. Even common components like alternators or fuel pumps are becoming hard to source, especially for vehicles tied to retiring platforms. Dealers are swamped, supply lines are choked, and your car could sit idle in a garage while you're stuck with rentals or ride shares. This isn't just inconvenient. It's a full-blown parts apocalypse. The right-to-repair loophole. Why independent shops still can't save you. Even with growing public pressure and legislation around right-to-repair, Stellantis is skating through a massive loophole: software. While laws may allow access to physical parts and service manuals, software remains locked behind proprietary firewalls. Independent mechanics can't perform updates, clear certain error codes, or even fully diagnose newer Stellantis vehicles without official authorization. So even if your trusted shop has the tools, they don't have the keys. Until regulators close this gap, Stellantis and automakers like it can effectively force you back to their service centers or leave you stranded with a high-tech paperweight. The used car time bomb, market collapse. The used car market is teetering on the edge, and Stellantis might be holding the detonator. With the company slashing production of popular models, pivoting hard toward EVs, and phasing out beloved engines like the Hemi V8, demand for older Stellantis vehicles is in free fall. Prices are starting to plummet, inventory is building up, and trade-in values are crashing faster than dealerships can update their websites. It's the perfect storm. Too many outdated models flooding the market, not enough demand, and consumers increasingly wary of long-term reliability, repairability, and parts availability. If you own or lease a Stellantis vehicle, especially a discontinued trim, you're sitting on a ticking time bomb, and when it explodes, your equity could vanish overnight. Lease nightmare. Your buyout option could be a trap if resale crashes. If you're coming to the end of your lease and thinking about buying out your vehicle, stop and think twice. With used Stellantis values dropping, your residual buyout price might now be thousands above actual market value. That means you'd be paying top dollar for a car that's depreciating fast, especially if it's tied to a discontinued engine, outdated tech, or a brand that's shifting its entire lineup. And once the bubble fully bursts, resale value could nosedive even further. Unless you've done your homework and confirmed the market value, your buyout could turn into a financial sinkhole that you'll regret for years. Insurance shock. Why your premium might double overnight. As parts become scarce and software issues become dealership-only problems, insurance companies are adjusting risk profiles on Stellantis vehicles. And it's not pretty. Higher repair costs, longer downtimes, and limited parts availability mean higher claim payouts for insurers. The response? Skyrocketing premiums, especially for older models or vehicles with discontinued components. Some owners are seeing renewal quotes jump by 30 to 100% with no warning, all because their vehicle is now considered high risk to repair. And if you're driving a performance model or a trim tied to the phasing out ICE era, prepare for sticker shock at renewal time. The silver lining: how to snag a fire sale deal. All chaos creates opportunity for the bold. As dealerships scramble to offload unsold inventory and used lots become flooded with soon-to-be orphan vehicles, there will be steals for those daring enough to pounce. But this isn't for the faint of heart. You'll need to factor in parts scarcity, questionable long-term support, and potential value drops. However, if you're mechanically savvy, don't mind hunting junkyards for spares, and can buy in cash, now might be the time to grab a high-powered Stellantis model at a massive discount. Just know, this isn't a smart buy. It's a calculated gamble, and the house always plays hardball. The secret recall they don't want you to know about. There's a dirty secret hiding under the hood of many Stellantis vehicles, and the company has been doing everything in its power to keep it buried. A recent leak reveals that a critical issue with certain models has been festering for years. While Stellantis continues to insist that all is well, multiple reports of dangerous behavior in these cars have surfaced. It's not just a few isolated incidents. It's a ticking time bomb. Drivers are reporting unsettling symptoms that could indicate a deadly flaw in the vehicle's design or electronic systems, and Stellantis has been incredibly slow to acknowledge it. The car you think is reliable could be a disaster waiting to happen, and the company may be actively covering up the evidence to avoid a costly and reputation-damaging recall. The red flag symptoms. Does your car have the death shudder at 60 miles per hour? Random electrical resets? You might be driving a ticking time bomb. If you're feeling your car shake violently at 60 miles per hour, or if it suddenly resets its electrical system while you're driving, you could be experiencing symptoms of this hidden defect. Dubbed the death shudder, the issue has caused drivers to lose control, with the car shuddering uncontrollably and threatening to veer off the road. In other cases, random electrical resets, where everything from the radio to critical engine controls glitch out, are leaving drivers stranded in unsafe situations. These aren't just quirks. They're red flags of a much larger, potentially deadly problem lurking beneath the surface. If you're experiencing any of these signs, you might be driving a time bomb, and the clock is ticking. The cover-up trail. Leaked documents show engineers flagged this years ago. Here's how they buried it. Documents leaked from within Stellantis reveal that engineers have known about these issues for years, with internal memos from as far back as 2019 warning about the dangers posed by faulty electronic systems. Yet, despite clear indicators that this was a safety concern, the company allegedly pushed forward without any serious intervention. Instead of addressing the issue head-on, Stellantis is accused of burying it, delaying recalls, and prioritizing profits over consumer safety. Internal documents show that the company opted for patchwork fixes and half measures to avoid the massive costs of a full recall. This cover-up isn't just negligent. It's a blatant attempt to protect the company's bottom line while putting countless drivers at risk. DIY detection, the 30-second test to see if your vehicle's affected. Do this before your next drive. You don't need a mechanic to check if your car is part of the affected batch. Here's a quick 30-second test to detect if your vehicle might be vulnerable. While your car is parked and turn the ignition key to the on position without starting the engine. Wait for the dashboard to light up and then press the brake pedal down firmly. If the car exhibits any weird electrical resets or you hear a strange clicking noise, there's a good chance your vehicle's electrical system is compromised. Don't ignore it. If this happens, your car could be one of the affected models and may be putting you at serious risk. The next step? Get to a dealership immediately before your next drive turns into a nightmare. Stellantis, the global automotive giant formed by the merger of Fiat Chrysler Automobiles and PSA Group, continues to make significant moves across its portfolio of 14 brands as it navigates the dynamic landscape of electrification, market realignment, and shifting consumer preferences. Among its standout performers, Fiat has reinforced its global dominance, particularly in markets like Brazil, Italy, Turkey, and Algeria, achieving over 1.2 million sales worldwide in 2024. This success, coinciding with the brand's 125th anniversary, is largely driven by the popularity of key models such as the Strada, Panda, Egea, and Doblo. Notably, the Fiat 500e has carved out a commanding 45% share in Europe's A-segment battery electric vehicle (BEV) category, underscoring the brand's relevance in the EV transition and cementing Fiat's place as a key driver of Stellantis volume and profitability. On the other hand, Maserati, Stellantis' luxury arm, is experiencing a more turbulent journey. The brand posted a €260 million operating loss and recently scrapped the highly anticipated MC20 Folgore electric supercar due to weak demand forecasts, raising concerns about the brand's role in Stellantis' long-term strategy. However, despite these setbacks, Stellantis has reiterated its commitment to Maserati, even enlisting consulting firm McKinsey to explore future options and turnaround strategies. Meanwhile, Alfa Romeo is signaling a strategic pivot by embracing electrification with its Alfa e Romeo branding initiative, aiming to blend its storied heritage with a forward-looking identity rooted in sustainability and innovation. Lancia, another legacy brand within the Stellantis family, is undergoing a notable revival. With the launch of the new Ypsilon EV, Lancia is not only modernizing its design language, but also expanding its reach beyond the Italian market into other parts of Europe, signaling a broader comeback strategy. Similarly, Peugeot has refreshed its brand identity with a contemporary lion emblem and sleek typography to align with its future-focused vision. These visual and strategic shifts are part of Stellantis' broader goal to position each brand uniquely within the evolving mobility ecosystem. In the commercial segment, Stellantis Pro One has emerged as a leader, particularly in the Middle East and Africa, where it captured a 26% market share, while also maintaining top positions in Europe and South America. This performance highlights Stellantis' robust multi-brand strategy in the light commercial vehicle space, leveraging synergies across its portfolio to maximize efficiency and market penetration. However, not all developments have been positive. Stellantis is facing legal scrutiny in Italy due to a class action lawsuit related to defective Takata airbags in Citroën and DS vehicles produced between 2009 and 2019. This legal challenge adds to the reputational and financial risks the company must manage as it pursues growth and transformation. Additionally, in response to pressure from U.S. regulators, Stellantis has revised its advertising language to replace "Built in America" with "Assembled in America," reflecting a heightened sensitivity to regulatory standards and consumer transparency. Financially, the company reported a 9% decline in global vehicle shipments in the first quarter of 2025, largely due to production slowdowns in North America. However, there were bright spots. Models like the Jeep Compass and Ram 1500/2500 recorded sales increases of over 10%, offering a counterbalance to the broader shipment decline. Looking forward, Stellantis is preparing for a comprehensive review of its 14 brands by 2026 as part of its ambitious Dare Forward 2030 strategic plan. This review will evaluate each brand's performance, market fit, and long-term viability, potentially paving the way for restructuring, divestment, or revitalization efforts. As Stellantis positions itself for a future defined by electrification, software-defined vehicles, and sustainable mobility, its ability to balance innovation, profitability, and brand identity across its vast portfolio will be crucial in determining its success in the years to come. Jeep, one of Stellantis' most iconic and globally recognized brands, is undergoing a pivotal transformation in 2025 as it intensifies its focus on electrification, market expansion, and lineup diversification. Under Stellantis' strategic vision, Jeep is aiming for a bold 50% increase in global sales by 2027, targeting approximately 1.5 million units annually. This ambitious growth plan includes expanding its current vehicle lineup from 10 to 13 models, while offering an impressive 27 different powertrain configurations that span internal combustion engines, mild hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and fully electric drivetrains. These efforts reflect a clear shift toward flexibility and sustainability as the brand positions itself for a future shaped by emissions regulations, evolving consumer demands, and increasing competition in the SUV and crossover segments. One of the most significant milestones in Jeep's electrification roadmap is the upcoming next-generation Jeep Compass, set to be revealed in Europe in spring 2025. Built on Stellantis' SDLA Medium platform, the new Compass will be produced in Melfi, Italy, and will be available in e-hybrid, plug-in hybrid, PHEV, and fully electric variants. This model is designed to meet a broad range of consumer expectations across different markets, reinforcing Jeep's intent to stay relevant in both traditional and progressive automotive regions. Meanwhile, the Jeep Avenger, the brand's first fully electric SUV, has seen remarkable success in Europe, particularly in the UK, where it helped triple Jeep's sales in 2024. The Avenger has not only won several industry awards, but also accounted for over 25% of Jeep's UK sales, serving as a key indicator of strong consumer interest in electrified Jeep offerings. Looking ahead, Jeep is preparing for the launch of the all-electric Wagoneer S and the rugged, Wrangler-inspired Recon, both of which are expected to further elevate the brand's EV credentials. These upcoming models aim to merge Jeep's legendary off-road capability with zero-emissions performance,